It is Sunday, December 11th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Sunday puzzle today, so a big grid, a jumbo-sized grid with a theme. And it shouldn't be too challenging. It's just a big puzzle. And this large themed puzzle has been brought to us, this edition of the Daily Solve in any case, has been brought to us by Overfull Hitbox, Joseph Schwalbach, Joe Percy, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark and the indomitable Schulmaster. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support in sustaining this channel and making it an ongoing part of my daily work. And if you'd like to join their ranks as benefactors and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve or in a link in the description field underneath the video. And by following that very same link, you can also become a patron at any level and get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week, such as the most recent weekly speed solve of mini puzzles, not my best performance in this week's, and also the most recent my most recent solve of an acrostic puzzle. It is not the most recent acrostic. I'm catching up on my acrostic backlog. Anyway, that's up. I think that'll go up a couple hours from now, so probably by the time you've seen it, it will already be up if you're a patron, and thank you if you are. Other than that, you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server in a link in the description field as well. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel. And all of that said, let's follow the exhortation of the puzzle's title and step on it and get right on to solving this mega grid. So this is, of course, a Sunday puzzle, hence its name. Sunday puzzles uniquely are named, and it was constructed by Laura Taylor Kinnell, who has constructed around half a dozen puzzles for the Times, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving. I have no idea what step on it is going to be. If it follows the New York Times cluing convention of exclamation points being something that would be said about the clue rather than being a synonym or a definition of the clue, then it could be something you're meant to step on, literally. But I don't know. Okay, letting up. Easing, maybe? It's too few letters. 35 millimeter options. Films. I mean, 35 millimeter is film. That could refer to either still photography or motion picture photography, but what else would it be? Pics or something? I don't know. Windshield annoyance. A smear, maybe? Sort of a smeared insect or something, maybe? Tug of war or capture the flag. A something game, a team game, maybe. Those are games played with teams. Biden or Harris for short. VP or Democrat, Dem. They're both members of the Democratic Party in the U.S. A real rotter would be a cad, sort of person who's, unscrupulous maybe. Rapper with the 2018 #1 album Invasion of Privacy. I don't know, unsurprisingly. It could be Cardi B, who came up in the puzzle recently, and I needed several crosses to get. But I don't actually know. Midwest college town. Ames. Is it Ohio or Iowa? Ames, Iowa, I think. Not actually certain about that, but I'm pretty sure it's the answer. No ifs, ands, or buts. Oh, right. Okay, so Cardi B probably here. And what about this? Eins plus zwei would be eins, zwei, drei, 3 in German. So we have 1 plus 2 is 3. Eins, zwei, drei. Okay, and to approach or an approach, either one of those could be a verb or a noun. So to go near, right? To approach, to get closer to something. Okay, And when doubled, overly enthusiastic. Rah, you're being very rah-rah. You're being very boisterous and patriotic, or what have you. Simple shelter. A teepee, maybe? I don't really think of it being spelled with that few letters. A yurt? I don't know. 35 millimeter options. What is it? Oh, maybe it's SLRs. It's referring to the camera rather than the film. Okay, there we go. Oh, right, because in this case, 35 millimeter might actually be referring to a lens as opposed to film. 35 millimeter lens, I think is, yeah, okay. And then simple shelter is a lean-to, maybe? Could be a rebus, or it could just be something totally different, but a lean-to is certainly a simple shelter that begins with LE. What about this? Mean Joe Green, e.g. American football player. Is there any chance it could be Steeler? Is it the Pittsburgh Steelers? I don't actually know. I'm just sort of guessing there. Let's look at this. Prefix with pronoun. You could have neopronouns, or sort of newly coined pronouns. So this kind of does look like lean-to, doesn't it? Oh, that would put an ant in if we made a rebus. Now, to quickly explain this, if it was surprising to you what I've just done, which is fair enough, the New York Times crossword has a function called rebus, which allows you to put more than a single letter in a cell. And it's a slightly different usage, maybe, than this is closer to the classic usage of the word rebus in puzzles. But in any case, you enter it, and then you can put in as many letters as you'd like, and that's that. And your next question might be, how do you know when you're supposed to do that? And the answer is you just have to figure that out through context. And so I thought maybe it was lean-to, and then once we had the O here, it just seemed like this must be the case. And then it does say theorem here. Pythagorean, yes, okay, I hadn't read the clue yet. Hypotenuse finding formula is the Pythagorean theorem. That is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, with a and b being the two sort of sides of a right triangle joined by the right angle, and then c being the hypotenuse, the third side, the sort of angled side. So it does spell that. So we have an ant, so step on it. So maybe step on it is referring to bugs, insects. I think that's probably it. So maybe we'll get other ants or other insects. Maybe, I don't know. Don't yet know, but let's keep going. This looks like RNA. Protein mimicking molecule. Yes, it is RNA. And ribonucleic acid. And then young Henry V to Falstaff Hal, King Hal, from Shakespeare. And beats around the bush, or bushes. I'm not sure what that's getting at. Day blank, day glow, that's something. That's sort of a neon colored something brand name. What does day glow actually refer to? Is it pens, maybe? I actually don't know. Do more than nudge. To jog someone's memory? That's sort of similar to nudging, though, isn't it? I don't think that's right. It's kind of the same thing. Income source for some older folks, in brief. The Social Security Administration, because they could be getting a sort of Social Security pension payment. Letting up. I don't know, maybe not. Oh, maybe it's an IRA, an individual retirement account, so personal and sort of individual pension. Okay, so letting up. Tiring or easing? No, I already thought of easing. What about this? Creative as lateral thinking. So not thinking along the sort of same road. You make a lateral, you make a sideways leap. Do more than nudge. You could nag someone. Maybe first you try nudging them and it doesn't work, so then you start nagging them. So that does complete the ing for letting up, which is as expected. Resident of the most populous city in Western Asia. Resident of the most populous city in Western Asia. So this will be a something, and probably resident of would think. And fragrant oil. It sort of looks familiar in some way, but I can't place it. Gulf Coast habitat. Gulf Coast habitat. What is that referring to? Sorry, I'm not sure. Leader of the pack, alpha, sort of alpha dog, which I think has been sort of sociologically debunked, but in any case, the language remains. Okay, letting up. Frost. Horror, as in a hoary frost coated, I don't know, lawn or something maybe. Okay, oh, maybe bayou. So, oh, right, I was thinking of the wrong Gulf. Okay, so this is the Gulf in a U.S. sense rather than a Middle Eastern sense. So down in, Louisiana, say, the bayou. Okay, and fragment, is it attar? Kind of sounds familiar. Why can't I just think of this? Oh, letting up is abating, right, okay. So to abate is to ease, to let up, so there we go. Oh, Tirani, maybe? Is Tehran the most populous city in Western Asia? I mean, that's believable, but I wouldn't have known it if you just asked me. Ethereal glows are auras, right? So there we go. So attar, okay. Fragrant oil, that does sound familiar, but I didn't get it immediately. And then this could be auras or aurae. It's probably auras with an S. Ink on a contract. Signature? Does that have an ant in it? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't, but I don't know what else is going on. Evening informally. Evening informally. Night with a TE like that. Yeah, that's probably right. That's the informal bit there. So it doesn't refer to informal speech, but rather in this case, informal spelling. Beats around the bush or bushes. Hedge. Oh, right, hedges. That's very clever because you hedge, you avoid making a decision. And so you're beating around the bush, but also a bush, it itself could be a hedge. So there we go. 39 plus weeks for a pregnancy. That would be 39 plus weeks, right? Would be full term pregnancy. And to egg on is to urge somebody to do something. Ink on a contract. What is it? One drinking soft drinks at a party, perhaps. Okay, well, someone who doesn't drink alcohol, I guess. So it's obviously not a teetotaler. What is it? What about this? Pharmaceutical pioneer Lilly. Oh, Eli Lilly is the name of a pharmaceutical company, so that'll be the namesake founder, presumably. Sublime soprano, a diva, operatically, and then main character in The Wizard of Oz. Okay, so it's a pun as indicated by the question mark, but a pretty tame one because we can see Maine is spelled like a lion's mane, and indeed the lion is one of the characters from The Wizard of Oz. One drinking soft drinks at a party, perhaps. Oh, designated driver. There we go. Oh, right. Okay, so there was no ant. I forgot to look for other possible creatures here. So it is signature after all, and a gnat is found within our designated driver. So we have an ant and a gnat so far. It's interesting. They share 3 letters. That's probably a coincidence. I can't imagine we're going to keep adding 1 letter to the beginning of this. I don't know what you'd spell in that case. Ognat. That's nothing. Wedding cake supports are what? Not sure. Dust tracks blank road. Dust tracks on a road? Zora Neale Hurston memoir, maybe? I'm not sure, but it works, so let's just try it and see. Charm could be to entice somebody, to charm them as a verb. Didn't participate, sat out. Okay, that looks pretty good. So a Kool-Aid flavor is, looks like melon? Oh, maybe watermelon, and this isn't entice. Does Kool-Aid have a watermelon flavor? Probably. Wedding cake. So, dowels, wooden rods. And then ham it up is to emote, to display emotion very visibly. So charm is, oh, enamor, right. Okay, I was charmed, I was enamored. And a bore is a lout, kind of rude sort of person. And James, who sang A Sunday Kind of Love, Etta James, great Etta James, and some young ladies abroad would be senoritas. So there we go. The abroad in this case is referring to, I suppose, any Spanish-speaking country. So there we have that. And member of the fam, sis, sister. And of course, fam being contracted, or family being contracted to fam, indicates that so will sister be contracted to sis. So big cheeses plate, a delicatessen. You could make a cat from that, but it doesn't really seem like the sort of creature you'd step on. I don't know, it could be something else. Could be a deli shelf or something, or a deli, I don't know. Like sumo wrestlers, medically speaking. Oh, obese, so maybe this isn't cis, but sib. Okay, so medically speaking, sumo wrestlers could be considered obese. And what about this? Implement at a regatta. So a regatta is a boat race or water race, so an oar. And physicist Schrödinger. Oh, right. Okay, so famous for Schrödinger's cat sort of thought experiment. Ernst, maybe? Ernst Schrödinger? Or Eric? I actually don't know. Why don't I know Schrödinger's name? Let's keep going. Having an impeccable reputation, say, above suspicion or above reproach? Roach, there we go. A roach is something you might step on. Okay, so brings up as a subject. Broaches the subject, there we go. And an A-lister is a celeb, a celebrity. Compound at a nail salon. Oh, acetate or acetone or something is used as nail polish remover. It'll end with an E. I'm actually not sure which of those it is. Let's look around here. Asia's vanishing Aral Sea. Indeed, the Aral Sea is disappearing. And one on a rack. A tie rack or something? In witness whereof, as hereinbefore mentioned, etc. Formalities? I'm not sure what this is asking for. As hereinbefore mentioned. What are those? Probably ends with an S. Let's just see if that helps with this. Doesn't comply with, resists, or goes against, or I'm not sure. Disorder from which Dostoevsky and many characters in his novels suffered. So this is obviously Fyodor Dostoevsky, the Russian novelist, but what? I've only read one Dostoevsky book. It was Crime and Punishment. I'm trying to think if that helps me. Oh, epilepsy. There we go. Okay, I didn't know Dostoevsky suffered from epilepsy. Or maybe I probably did learn that at one point, but I certainly didn't remember. What a cafeteria tray can be used as. A seat? I'm not sure what this is getting at. It doesn't fit anyway. Not sure. Le Pew of Looney Tunes. Pepe Le Pew is the skunk from Looney Tunes, the French, I guess, skunk from cartoons. And opposed to in dialect, again, I think, is kind of dialect way of saying against, opposed to. Cozy spot could be a den. There we go. And regalia? No, regalia is not the right word. Regal. In witness whereof, as hereinbefore mentioned, e.g., regal, something to do with sort of formal language and regal language. I don't know. One on a rack. Oh, a spare rib. You could have a rack of ribs. Okay. And what a cafeteria tray can be used as. A Sled. Right, I see. You could sled down a hill. Oh, legalese. There we go. Nothing to do with regal language. Legalese. There we go. Makes more sense. Le Bonheur de Vivre, painter Matisse, I guess. Henri Matisse. So that would be the sort of the joy of life, I suppose. Le Bonheur de Vivre. Okay, prefix with constriction. Variconstriction, is that something to do with blood vessels constricting or something? I'm not sure if that's the answer. I'm going to put it in briefly just to look at the across. Doesn't comply with. No, it's not. Disobeys. There we go. Didn't see it earlier. So that's not sure what's going on there. Okay, so acetone has been disambiguated here from the disobeys. Thank you, disobeys. And leaves out, omits a bit of language, for instance, like carbon monoxide. I don't know. It's sort of colorless and odorless, right? Not sure. Serve. And physicist Schrödinger again, right? I think we already had these two last time I looked at it. Eliot's blank Marner, Silas Marner. So this could be Irwin, I guess. I forget if that was one of my guesses earlier. Does that help with this? Yes, a waiter could serve you or wait on you. So vasoconstriction. Okay. So does it have to do with the vascular system? I don't know. Okay, so physicist Schrödinger, Irwin, and single-handedly is alone, and like carbon monoxide is diaphanous. That doesn't really make any sense. Not sure. Symbol of Irish heritage. In Big Cheese's place, still something to do with a deli, which makes sense. Things frequently stolen. Oh, bases in baseball, maybe? And adheres. Oh, sticks. So a tick. There we go. There we go. There's another one. So we've got an ant, a roach, a gnat, and a tick. Okay. So that'll give me something here. Symbol of Irish heritage. And I still don't see it. That's so annoying. What about this? Like carbon monoxide. What about this? Pierre Marie. So those would be names or nom in French. Well, a name because it's an or clue. Even though the or is written in French, it still means or. So we're only referring to one of these two people, Pierre Marie. Okay, so two French things so far. Hand warmer is a mitten. There we go. And common frequency for college class, semi-weekly? Sounds about right. So what is this? Like carbon monoxide. Something ick, maybe? Is it a chemical distinction here? So Langston Hughes, clastic. Oh, I too. Is that a poem by Langston Hughes? I think. I'm sure I've read it many, many years ago. It sounds so familiar. And then the Pink Panther character, Inspector Clouseau. So what part of this would be turned into a rebus? Oh, a louse. There we go. Right. Oops. There we go. So Inspector Clouseau, the character played by Peter Sellers in the Pink Panther films. Directed by Blake Edwards, I think. And I have seen most of those. Probably not all. I think there were quite a few. Okay, shiny top is a blouse of some sort. The top would be the blouse. So what, a silk blouse maybe? Silk is sort of shiny. And a cause of class struggle, an essay maybe. So you struggle in class. And of course, the question mark points us away from class struggle in the sort of sociological sense or the societal sense, and towards class, meaning a class in school. Okay, blackthorn fruit. Oh, sloe, blackthorn. So sloe, probably best known for its partnership with gin in the sloe gin fizz. And oh, look at that! Another sort of cocktail adjacent clue here. A garnish on a Moscow mule is a lime. And voting rights matriarch blank Boynton Robinson, Amelia Boynton Robinson. One of those names I've heard but wouldn't have known without the cross, wouldn't have been able to give you without the crosses. And who me response? Yeah, you. Doesn't seem like we have enough letters. I really don't like yeah being spelled this way, but I think it must be in this case, because I don't think we would have a creature spelled simply AH, which is how I personally would imagine yeah to be spelled. So what about this? Auditioners O. Oh no, it's not. It's not that. I was completely wrong. I was making a whole point out of absolutely nothing because it was yes you. Who me? I just sort of assumed yeah because of it just felt like a confrontational sort of informal scenario. But there we go. Yes you. And so auditioners' goals are roles. And that rhymes. So you audition for a role, and then post-merger overhauls informally are reorgs, reorganizations, and avant-garde is edgy maybe, so on the edge, new and exciting. Something to knock on. You could knock on wood superstitiously. And then swirling storm is a... cyclone. That was very strange. I just couldn't think of it. A cyclone is a swirling storm. And go jump in a lake. Scram. Get out of here. Cousin of a crow is a raven, perhaps. And blank Antipova, Dr. Zhivago character. Lana? Is Lana a character from Dr. Zhivago? Or is it... might be Lara? Childish retort. Am not or are so. This is a funny category of New York Times clue. This sort of childish retort or playground retort or that kind of thing. Could be are so, am not, are not, am so. I mean, sort of any combination of those sort of, I guess, conjugations of the verb to be plus negative or positive sort of, declaration. And I guess it's probably are so here because am not would also fit, but I don't think Llama is a character from Dr. Zhivago. So are so looks like the likely one here. So Lara. And then painter Edouard often confused with painter Claude. Oh, Manet, I suppose. Edouard Manet. Because there is a Claude Manet as well. As well as a Claude Monet. Let's see. Group of tonal languages. Well, ending in "-ese" is pretty normal for languages. What is it? And wish otherwise, to hope not. I wish otherwise, I hope not. Ball and socket joint. The hip is a ball and socket joint. And however, so a contraction of however. So though for to contract although. Similarly, Chinese is a group of tonal languages. Right, okay, I was trying to think, I guess, of a language group, and I guess I just wasn't really thinking of sort of individually named languages, but of course, Chinese includes numerous languages, so there we go. Stately shade tree. Oh, but maybe it'll need a rebus probably, right? There's not going to be a shade tree that's 3 letters long and ends with CH. So what? Birch doesn't really work. I don't really think of a birch as being stately shade tree either. Larch. This looks like Beethoven, doesn't it? Composers studied under Joseph Haydn. Oh, beech, because Beethoven. A beech tree. There we go. So Ludwig van Beethoven. There we go. Okay, good. That just fits. I wasn't sure if I was going to need another rebus in there, but no. So there we go. And blank goal, soccer blunder, an own goal. Oops. When your own actions results in, well, I guess when you've most recently touched the ball at the point that it enters your own goal. I guess that's an own goal. Okay, prince but not a princess is a son. Oh, son, of course. And cloud nine feeling is elation or feeling of, to me, it's joy, feeling of joy or happiness. What about this? Textures transition, BTW, by the way. And, oh, ecstasy, there we go. Like some forecasts and complexions. Ashy, that sort of seems strange. What about this? Some boxers. Oh, BVDs. Oh, boy, I haven't seen that brand in absolutely ages, but that's a brand of men's underwear, I suppose. Boxer briefs. There we go. One-time auto make with the Metro and Prism models. Geo. There's a Geo Metro and Geo Prism. Those were, I don't know, maybe that went out of business in the late 90s or early 2000s, but in any case. Like some forecasts and complexions. Rosy forecast or rosy complexion. There we go. Many a winter Olympian is a skier, potentially. And tournament favorites are something seeds, top seeds, or something like that. Setting for, no, one seeds. Setting for simmering is low on a stovetop, a range. And a hunk is a wad of material. Fancy feast flavor, that's for cats, I think, tuna. So yes, one seeds here are the tournament favorites. And essential is needed. Durable furniture material, teak furniture, you hear about. And post-merger acquisitions, in-laws, because you gain parents-in-law through the merger of your marriage. And internet star Majimbo, known for her comedy videos. Wow. No idea. Elsa, I guess. President Carter's alma mater. U.S. military, U.S. Naval Academy or something like that. Top-level foreign policy group is the National Security Council. There we go. So yes, U.S. Naval Academy. And tastes is sips, maybe? Non-reversal. Oh, right. Wow. Yet another French clue. There's quite a lot. I mean, if you consider even French names like Manet, we also had nom for name and something else. Yeah, there were several. This is maybe the fourth French word. Anyway, oui for yes, a reversal of non for no. And deceived in a way is led on, maybe. Led you on and deceived you. Symbol of Irish heritage. What is this? Why don't I see it? Oh, Celtic something. Celtic. I mean, I want it to be Celtic cross, but it doesn't. Oh, Celtic knot. Celtic knot. Yes, okay. Yes, I do know that symbol. That took me absolutely ages. Sorry about that. Like carbon monoxide is diatomic. Oh, two atoms, right? Carbon monoxide, okay. Carbon and a single oxygen. So the monoxide as opposed to dioxide with the two oxygen atoms. So there we go. Diatomic, two atoms. I think that's what that refers to, probably. And Big Cheese's place. Is it not a delicatessen? What is that? What would that mean? Is there something I'm missing in there? I don't think so. It would have to be Tess or Essen. That's the only way it would work, and neither of those seems likely. What do I not see? Sorry. Oh, deli cart, maybe? I don't know. Is that a thing? In a few words, briefly, or like some lips, chapped lips, maybe? Or, I don't know, any number of things lips could be. Like one who's seen a ghost, scared or startled, or neither of those fits. Bum, invertebrate with a floral eponym. That's interesting. So the name will have flowers in it somehow. Having successfully made it, slangily. Oh, that looks surprising. With two N's there. Maybe one of those is wrong. Dolce de leche, this is what this looks like here. So does that help me at all? Remunerated, paid. There we go. Made invalid. Annulled? There we go, that works. As in a marriage. And to prevaricate is to lie to... Oh, maybe it's just tell a lie. Okay, there we go. Procedures of pies. Oh, this will be Greek letter, presumably. I don't know it offhand. That's annoying. Bum is to patronize? It's like sort of bumming a cigarette, but that doesn't really work. Invertebrate with a floral eponym. Oh, an anemone? What's the floral eponym? Is that also a flower or something? I don't know. I don't quite understand what's going on there. Sorry about that. Having successfully made it slangily. In... I don't know. Oil alternative in baking could be lard, sort of a more traditional baking alternative. And a Gallic greeting is... Does it just mean Gallic in... I guess it just means Gallic in the sense of French here. So the French people say allo when they pick up the phone. So maybe that's what it is. I'm not 100% certain about this. Name found in variety. I mean, so variety is an entertainment industry. It's sort of an insider entertainment industry publication. So it's for people who work in entertainment. What would be the name found in it? I don't really know what that's getting at, sorry. Bit by bit. I don't know. Oh, sorry, bit by a bit. Oh, a rein. A horse's bit to which the reins are attached. There we go. So what is this? Name found in variety. I have no idea what that is. Day originally marked by a full moon in the early Roman calendar. The Ides. Okay, so that's where the Ides come from. And then name found in variety, Ari. Why? I have no idea. There must be a famous Ari who would be, obviously referred to in variety, but I don't know who it is. But I think that must be the answer because it fits the crosses. I mean, the allo I'm just going to have to assume is correct at this point because Ari is a name. Omicrons, the procedures of pies. There we go. And a bum. Oh, I see. One's behind. A patootie. There we go. So not a bum in the way that I was originally thinking. And then having successfully made it slangily. Okay, I feel as though I've done something wrong over here. Essential. Digital Digest with the motto Cure Ignorance. Oh, Utni, the Utni reader is I guess it's digital now. I think it used to be an actual printed magazine. In a few words. So this, briefly is a fly, of course. Oh, in like Flynn. There we go. That is a phrase to mean you've made it. You're in like Flynn. Okay. And so, like one who's seen a ghost has been spooked, and some lips you could purse your lips. There we go. Oh, deli case, big Jesus place. Wow, I never would have gotten that without the crosses. And I don't know why exactly. It just looks like it's it looks like it's a misspelling of delicacy or something, but it's obviously totally unrelated, or unrelated, at least enough. So, deli case, and there we go. That was the Sunday puzzle full of creatures we are being exhorted to step on. The ant, roach, gnat, tick, louse, fly, and bee. If you can manage to step on a fly, good luck. I wouldn't have thought that would be very achievable. So there we have it. And I don't think there was a revealer anywhere. So as is sometimes the case with a Sunday puzzle, the revealer, in other words, what is often an answer in the grid itself that explains what's going on with the theme, in this case, that essentially implicitly exists in the title of the puzzle. Step on it. So that's all we get, but that's all we needed. We were able to find our way to this rebus mechanic. And let me know how you fared with this, especially if you... I'm always curious to hear from people, and I almost every time do hear from people who have encountered a rebus for the first time in a given puzzle. Because yes, it is the kind of thing that you can go weeks without encountering one in the New York Times. So you could have solved quite a few puzzles and suddenly be surprised by the appearance of this particular rule. But there we have it. That was the puzzle. A nice, solid Sunday puzzle, not too brutal. There were quite a few French words, so I guess if you don't have that knowledge, that could be a slightly tricky element here. But the rebus, I think, is the main thing. And that's that for the Sunday crossword. Hope you enjoyed it. I don't have time, unfortunately, for the words from yesterday's puzzle today, the clues from yesterday's puzzle. I do have to take off. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be back tomorrow for the Monday crossword, of course, a much quicker, much simpler solve with a theme still. So join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Sunday. Take care.